Hi Sam, thanks for coming in today for your performance review. It's come to my attention that you're not meeting the standards that are expected of you, and today we're going to discuss why that may be and what we can do to get you onto the right path.
I hope it's nothing too serious.
Don't worry, we'll discuss everything shortly, and together we'll be implementing a plan to ensure that you start meeting your goals, okay? So first up, I want to start by highlighting the areas where you are excelling in the business. This is where I want to see you keep it up. You're very punctual, work well with your team members, and you also complete your tasks well within the acceptable timeframes, all of which is really good to see. We just need to see some other areas get up to that standard as well.
Okay, thank you.
So do you have any idea of what areas you may be struggling in?
Well, one area I do find myself noticeably struggling is just talking to customers on the phone. I always get really, nervous and I can't really remember all the information that I need to tell them.
Yeah, so that is definitely one of the main areas of concerns. We have had some negative customer feedback regarding this, as you know. So what we're going to do is prepare an improvement plan so that you can get on the right track. First off, I want to set what the required outcomes are of what I want you to achieve at the end of this plan. I'd like you to be able to, one, communicate with customers in a polite and professional manner, and two, provide the customers with all the necessary information. How does that sound to you?
Yeah, think that's fair.
Okay, great. So in order for you to meet these goals, we need to set some strategies in place for you to follow. The first is to remember to speak in a calm and collected manner, while remembering to be polite and efficient. I'd like to say, however, I don't mind you spending more time on the phone with customers if it means that you're delivering a higher level of customer service, okay?
Okay, that sounds good. But I have a difficulty remembering all the information that I often need to tell them, such as the information about ingredients.
Okay, so there are two ways that we can improve here. First, whenever you don't know any information, instead of just telling the customer that you don't know, just excuse yourself and ask one of the other staff members or the manager. Another thing you can do is to make notes of all that information that you struggle to remember and keep it near the phone. So every time you get asked a new question, you can just add that into your book or your sheet. And that way you'll always have it handy.
Yeah, that's actually a good idea. Thanks.
Right. And then lastly, I think it would be a good idea for some training specific to customer service. I'll have the manager prepare a training program for you, and you'll be required to attend that, and hopefully it'll help you get better in this area.
Okay, no problem.
So, the next thing that we need to talk about is the support that you have access to help you improve your skills. Firstly, remember that you have access to the other staff members that all have a large amount of experience, including your manager. All of them are more than happy to help you that you can operate at a higher level and become a more constructive team member. In terms of support, you also have access to training that is mandatory, as well as further voluntary training that you can request if you feel that there is still room to improve. And lastly, you'll also be receiving further performance meetings with the manager to help you keep on track.
Okay, great. I'll make sure to make use of all those.
Great. And then lastly, I'd like to run through the responsibilities of the manager in relation to this performance improvement plan. So you'll be required to meet the specified outcomes by the final review date for this improvement plan and to attend the customer service training run by management, to monitor more experienced staff interacting with customers and to make efforts to memorize information relating to ingredients.
Mhm.
Um, and so that's the last thing for this plan is to go over the consequences should you fail to follow this plan and or fail to meet the desired outcomes by the end date, which I'm going to set on the 20th of the 11th. You will receive a written final warning, which will be given alongside a meeting with me to discuss your employment here.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm excited to get started with this plan. I won't let you down.
Great. Well, before we move on to the other area that I need to see improvement in, I just want to bring this all into context by relating these areas of improvement to the KPIs that we have set for the company to achieve. Because you've been falling short in these areas, we have seen a significant impact to our KPI measurements, and we just want to remind you of what we're aiming to achieve. So the two KPIs that I'm referring to here are that food wastage does not exceed 10% per week, and that we increase our current customer satisfaction, which we measure through online reviews. I just want you to keep these in mind and how they relate to your actions and accomplishments. All right, so the next area that we have seen that you've been struggling to reach is related to the food wastage, both in preparation of fruits and vegetables and in actually preparing drinks.
Yeah, now that you mention it, I usually always have leftovers. I just don't think that it was that big of a deal.
Yeah, so there's actually two main reasons that this is a bit of the problem, and the first is on the money side. So by using too much ingredients, it eventually adds up to be quite serious losses. And the second reason is that the recipes that we use are carefully designed to ensure that each drink has a balanced flavor. By not measuring properly, you're changing the flavor of the drink, which affects the consistency of our business. When customers come here, they need to know that no matter when they order from us, each product will always be the same.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, I understand now.
Great. So I still want to write up a performance plan for you to follow just so we can measure not only your improvements, but also the effectiveness of these plans and the training that you'll be going on to do. So just like last time, we'll start with our objectives, and this will be to have you make drinks with little to no wastage.
Yeah. Yeah, fair enough.
Great. So the required outcomes for us to consider this reached are for you to make all the drink orders accurately with no wastage, and for you to be able to prepare all the ingredients with as little wastage as possible.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay, and so what strategies do you think you can use to help you accomplish these goals?
Uh, that I make sure to use proper measuring tools.
Yeah, great. So as you know, all these tools, all the tools that you need for measuring, we have them all available for you. So that's definitely a good one. Also, I'd like to see you take a little bit more time when making drinks. While I appreciate that you're able to make them quickly, I'd like to see quality over quantity. So I don't mind you taking a little bit more time to ensure that you get it right.
Yeah, yeah, that sounds good. It's just sometimes I get really flustered and start rushing without paying proper attention.
Yeah, that happens to everyone. As you get more experience, it will get better. And so the next thing to go over is the support, and it's pretty much the same as before, but I'll run through it again anyway, so that you have access. So you have access to the other staff members, including the manager. You also have access to training, both mandatory and voluntary, that you can request if you feel that there is still room to improve. And lastly, you'll be receiving further performance meetings with the manager to help keep you on track.
Right, the same as before.
Right. So the next responsibilities. So as an employee, you have the responsibility to meet the specified outcomes by the final review date for this improvement plan, to participate in training on beverage preparation, to monitor more experienced staff on how they make drinks, and to make efforts to memorize information relating to ingredients. And your manager has the responsibility to provide progress, to monitor your progress and provide feedback, to provide accurate and useful training, and to provide you with any support that you may need to complete your job, and then also to prepare recurring improvement and monitoring meetings. And then
Mm.
lastly, the consequences are the same as before. So should you fail to follow this plan and or fail to meet the desired outcomes by the end date, which has also been set on the 20th of the 11th, you will receive a final written warning, which you'll be given alongside a meeting with me to discuss your employment here. So that's everything I wanted to discuss with you today. Do you have any further questions regarding what we just discussed?
No, I'm all good.
Great. Well, I'll send you a copy of this plan and let you know when your training will begin. Thanks so much for meeting me here today, and good luck with the improvement plan. I can't wait to hear some good news.
Thanks so much. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.